This is Phillies Postgame Live, presented by our friends at Cure Auto Insurance. Ruben Amaro Jr. I'm Michael Barkamp. Ben Davis in a moment from Citizens Bank Park. 5-3, the Phillies go down to the Milwaukee Brewers after squandering a 3-0 lead. You know, Ruben, there's going to come a time, and it's not today, when we're going to say, you know what, this season's getting on. This season is 10% down, which happens tomorrow. They do have a 400 win percentage, which is 65 wins over 162. At some point, not today, we're going to say that. But I'm getting a little concerned, especially with Zach Wheeler. What's your thought on today, Rube?
I actually thought it was nice progress with Zach Wheeler today, and I know he ran into some trouble, and he ended up getting a loss today in that fifth inning. But he really threw the ball really well in the early part of the game, and he's still getting stretched out. I mean, the people just have to understand that he is not at 100% yet. And I think this next outing that he has, I think it'll be much, much closer to where we are accustomed to seeing Zach Wheeler. Unfortunately, he ran into, a buzzsaw there in the fifth inning and, gave up a bunch of runs. But, sometimes the offense has to pick up the pitching too.
Yeah, I think you need to explain that further to everybody watching at home about pitchers that are not Zach Wheeler versus what Wheeler's gone through. Let me do that in a little bit, but we got to get to Ben Davis, who called today's game. Ben, when you look at this, 3-0 up, and everything looked fantastic, and really, I thought they were going to tack on more runs and thump this Brewers team. It was not to be, and then the floodgates open for the Brewers in the fifth inning. What'd you see?
Yeah, everything came to a screeching halt there in that fifth inning. It looked great for the Phillies. Zach Wheeler was rolling. His sinker was very effective. The offense put 3 runs up on the board. Everything was going good, and that fifth inning came, and it just went astray, and not able to get any of that momentum back. And I give the Brewers credit. They were able to mix and match. Their bullpen did an outstanding job, and they have a tremendous bullpen as it is. But they got the timely hits, and they just kept stringing hits together there. And the Phillies go down 5-3. It was a tough one to watch because it just seemed like everything just came to a screeching halt, and they weren't able to gain anything back.
Yeah, Ben, it's Ruben. I'm just curious, what are your feelings about Adrian Hauser? Because he threw the ball pretty well, and he kind of shut them down after kind of bending at the early part of the game.
He was effective. I will say this, Ruben, and I'm sure that those guys in that clubhouse downstairs will be the first ones to tell you. They missed an awful lot of fastballs today, and they took a lot of fastballs today. I was actually texting with Mike Schmidt during the game. I said, why are these guys taking so many fastballs? Because I know it drives Schmidt crazy. And he said, I don't know. He said, I don't have a reason for it. He said, it shouldn't be. You see that first straight one, have at it. But a lot of cookies were missed today. And that's not something that typically you're going to see out of this lineup. And that's, they hit the fastball extremely well. They did not hit the fastball well today, and that's, I think, was very so. A lot of frustration on the faces of some of these offensive players today, and rightfully so, because they had pitches to hit, just didn't do anything with them.
Yeah, saw some of the guys shaking their heads today. Hey, one last question. Stay positive here. Talk about the bullpen, because the guys threw the ball pretty well for the Phils.
They did, with the exception of the home run that Renfroe hit out off Sanchez. They threw the ball excellent. What I was happy about was the fastball command that they showed tonight. That's everything for me. Guys coming out of the bullpen, the last thing you want is to go out there and walk somebody. They used their fastballs effectively, in, out, up, and down. I think they had a good game plan. I know that Brewers Ball Club's not the best in the world hitters right now, a lot of sub 200 averages, but I think they used that to their advantage. They attacked guys, they attacked them early, and I think you saw that in the results. The bullpen was very good today, with the exception really of that one pitch that Sanchez threw, but I thought overall he threw the ball very well also.
All right, Ben, we appreciate it. As always, we'll see you during the week.
Thanks, Ben.
Ben Davis
right,
calling today's game with Tom McCarthy. Tough loss. Phillies fall to 6-9 after 15 games of this season. Here's Joe Girardi postgame in the clubhouse.
Much better today. Yeah, big improvement. I mean, I think we all saw where his stuff was today. It's unfortunate that fourth inning got away from him a little bit, because I thought he was throwing the ball really well today.
Well, you went out to talk to him. Where does that like
Make sure he was okay. I mean, his pitch count was still okay with what we had available for him today, and I just wanted to make sure he was okay.
What did you like about the way he was throwing today?
I thought all his pitches were pretty crisp. I thought his sinker was much better today. We saw velocity today better than we've seen. I thought his cutter was good. It was effective into the left-handed hitters. So pretty much almost everything.
Schwarber makes a better throw, maybe there.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
a
mean,
better shot.
yeah, I mean, those are a lot of things. I mean, everyone's doing their best. I mean, that's the bottom line. So it's frustrating because we had a 3-0 lead, you know, and we weren't able to hold it.
The double steal. What'd you think of that? What was your-
Yeah, you just can't, you know, we made a bad throw, which cost us a run.
When you're trailing in the middle innings against a team like this that has such a good 8th, 9th inning bullpen combination, does it increase the pressure a little bit to score?
Yeah, I think, you know, you understand what's at the back end of their bullpen. I mean, we know that. But, you know, we've come back on other back ends of the bullpen, and I think we have a good hitting club. But, yeah, I mean, they're good back there. They're good in the front, the middle, and the back.
So Zach made those 2 spring starts against the prospects. This is his 3rd start. So how do you see him right now? If this was quote unquote spring training, is he at the end of it? Maybe one more.
Probably one more for him, because usually a guy's prepared to go 100 pitches, right? They've been to this spot probably in their 5th start, and sometimes you back off a little bit their 6th start. He kind of repeated his 3rd and 4th, the amount of pitches. So, yeah, I would say he's about 1 away from normalcy.
Joe Girardi talking about Zach Wheeler and his team and a tough loss today in Game 2 of their series against Milwaukee. Ruben, when you look at Wheeler, and this is something I alluded to at the top of the program, because I know a lot of viewers out there saying enough with the spring training stuff. There's a difference between many of the starters on the Phillies and many of the starters, for that matter, around baseball, and Zach Wheeler, because he had an expanded spring training. It was necessary because he was injured.
Right.
Correct?
So it was different for Zach. Zach's situation, for me, he had to stop throwing because when he started throwing the baseball in the offseason, he had a sore shoulder. He had to shut it down. Now, because of the lockout, he was not able to talk to the Phillies brass. He wasn't able to talk to the Phillies trainers. So naturally, you shut it down until you're allowed to throw again. And I'm sure that he wanted to protect himself, and I don't blame him. So he waits until we get to spring training to throw again. And by that time, he was kind of backed up a little bit. So now he's still building up, and he's totally different from some of the other guys. A lot of the other guys didn't really have issues. Now, there was 2 guys, Gibson and Nola, who just went through their normal progression. They didn't really have any issues. Now, Ranger Suarez, on the other hand, he was a guy that had some visa issues, so he was backed up a little bit. So these guys had different circumstances, and that's the reason why he's backed up and why he is now building. Now, this next start would probably be his first real start if he went through a normal progression of spring training for Zach Wheeler. And so that's what you're seeing right now. I know people don't like to see it, but this is reality, and this is all part of the lockout, and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, and that's why when you see Zach Wheeler throw 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 5 strikeouts, 84 pitches, and you hear Ruben and Joe Girardi, for that matter, saying, I was impressed, he did a pretty nice job, etc. That's why, because he did not have the time to prepare.